Hi there, it's Gina, and I'm here with the first layout using the Page Kits with Scraps, that little series that I started. And like I said, this will be my first layout. So you saw how I put together the background pages with the scraps and the embellishments. So now I'm going to actually do the layout. So I'm going to start just by spreading out my embellishments. I know there's probably way too many there, but I like options when I am scrapbooking with, in regards to the clusters and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of trying to organize my page kit a little bit. And the pictures I'm going to be using are from New Year's Eve. We had just a special dinner, and then, yeah, that's it. Then when New Year's Eve came, we just toasted and went right to sleep. So I'm cutting down the photos because I don't need much of what's in the background for a lot of them. It's just extra space to me. And if I'm using a lot of pictures, um, it just makes it easier so I have more room for embellishing. So I have that piece of blue striped cardstock and this scrap piece of half a triangle. So I'm just straightening that up, and I think there was I think it was a little bent. So I just cut that a little bit, and I'm going to use some distress ink for the edges. And I'm just using a square, well, you can see that Tim holds the square handle with a circular spongy thing, which it doesn't matter, I just grab whatever is handy. So there you saw all my scraps, and I'm going to try to use as many as I can. So yeah, I saw, oh, those are the same pictures, so I just took one off, threw one away. And that was, the dinner we had. We had steak. Well, the adults had steak with mushrooms. The kids just had plain steak. Then we had lobster tail and broccoli and a little bit of noodles. We figured we'd splurge. And that is and there are my two children. Eating up all their food, even their broccoli. So I just mounted those 3 photos on a piece of white cardstock. And I'm just going to put that greenish yellow in the background. And you see I got some ink on that piece, but it doesn't matter. So I'm not going to use a whole thing where that's going to show. So there I am, just trying to decide how I want to use up these pieces. And my scraps are not big enough to actually, well, probably if I had one photo, I could have layered a bunch of them, but since I have I have 3, yeah, there's no way I could have just layered the photo with my scraps. Because I find if I have a lot of photos of the same event, like even this, I'm not going to make one layout for each photo. It's not, like a special photo with them eating. So it's like, oh, we'll just put them all together. And that's what I do with 90% of my photos or layouts. There's several, unless there's only a couple, 1 or 2 photos for that occasion, then obviously all my layouts will be a little different depending on how many photos I use. So just took out my T-square ruler to try to get that even. So it matches up. And that just says I love you. And that could be for my kids or the yummy food. Or both. So, um, yeah, I'm just inking the edges of that one as well. And if you hear any noise in the background, my husband's putting a fridge down here, so he's, making a little bit of noise. An extra freezer because we have too much overflow upstairs. All right, so I found that piece of pink, and I think I had already mounted it previously, and that's why it's like that. That's what I'm going to use for my journaling. I think it's pink flamingos in the background of that. And then I had that little scallop piece that I put under that same block. I'm just trying to see how I want to embellish. So I know that square is going to go on the left. I have a frame that I put there on the right. I want something for that upper right hand corner. I'm just trimming out some of the pieces that I have for the embellishments. I'm using some flowers just because they were pretty and pink. And that's what was in what I put together for the page kit. Because I added the pictures later, I didn't do it beforehand, so. So a bike really has nothing to do with food, but I thought it was a cute, well, it was a little touch of the navy. So I want to use that clock, obviously, because it's, that night we counted down for New Year's. So I'm using that clock, and I just cut it out. Put it on some white cardstock and cut it out. Because it was a see-through sticker, I think. And it just, I don't know. It just needed the backing so it wouldn't be transparent. Like it. I love those flowers, they're pretty. So when I'm done, I could just put the remainder. Oh, see, I covered up the bike. I realized it didn't match. Added that little Life is Great sticker. And yeah, all the remaining ones I will just put back in my stash, and then I could use them for other layouts. As you know, I will never be done scrapbooking pictures because I have a million of them. So that one I probably should have backed as well, but I didn't. That's okay. So adding some sequins, and those were already backed, and some enamel dots. The backed sequins were from Close to My Heart. Or Creative Memories. No, Close to My Heart. Alright, so I think I'm just about done with this. Or I am done. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.